Hello everyone, myself Manpreet from a Nursing Scope. So most welcome to my channel. So in today's video, I'll discuss the MPCHO exam which was held in June 2019. So I'll try to cover all the questions from this exam. So do watch the video till the end and please subscribe the channel if you have not subscribed yet so that you can receive the all upcoming notifications. So without wasting more time, let's start. So our first question is, which of the following is a communicable disease? And here are the options: diabetes, diphtheria, hypertension and kwashiorkor. So here the correct option is option B, that is diphtheria. So out of these, diphtheria is a very contagious disease and this is caused by bacteria Corynebacterium diphtheriae. And the sign and symptoms of diphtheria is very similar to the common cold. So the correct option is option B. So with this, moving to our next question. Which among the following is not a symptom of tuberculosis? And here are the options: cough for 3 weeks or more, fever, weight gain and loss of appetite. So here the correct option is weight gain. So the sign and symptoms of active TB are the cough lasting more than the 3 weeks, then weight loss and loss of appetite, then fever, chills and night sweats. So here the option C is not right. It is not a symptom of tuberculosis. So C is the right answer here. So our next question is, what is the full form of VVM? And here are the options: vaccine verification monitor, vaccine viability monitor, vaccine vial monitor, and option D is none of the above. So it's a very easy question. Correct option is option C, vaccine vial monitor. So our next question is, what is the preferred site for administering the DPT vaccine in infants? And here are the options: vastus lateralis site, dorsogluteal muscles, ventrogluteal, and option D is the deltoid muscles. So here the correct option is option A, that is a vastus lateralis site. So DPT is administered by IM route and the recommended injection site for infants is the always vastus lateralis site, because the deltoid, dorsogluteal and ventrogluteal muscles are not well developed in case of infants. Next question is, all among the following home available fluids can be given to the patient with diarrhea except lemon water, buttermilk, sugarcane juice or coconut water? So which of the following fluids should not be given to the patient with diarrhea? So here the correct option is option C, that is a sugarcane juice. So this is not recommended in case of diarrhea as it is helpful in treating the constipation. So any kind of dairy product like milk, cheese or juices which contain the sugar are not recommended in diarrhea. So the correct option is option C. So next question is, the suggestive dose of vitamin A at 9 months of age is 50,000 international unit, 1 lakh international unit, 2 lakh international unit or 3 lakh international unit. So here the correct option is option B, that is a 1 lakh international unit is recommended of vitamin A at 9 months of age. So next question is, fever, abdominal tenderness, slow pulse, delirium and rose colored rash indicates which disease? And here are the options: smallpox, measles, typhoid or chickenpox. So here the correct option is option C, typhoid fever, as all these symptoms indicate the typhoid. So our next question is, leprosy is caused by Mycobacterium leprae, Mycobacterium tuberculosis, rotavirus or mosquito? So the correct option is option A, that is a Mycobacterium leprae. So our next question is, which first line anti-TB drug is contraindicated in pregnancy? And here are the options: streptomycin, isoniazid, ethambutol or parazinamide. So here the correct option is option A, that is a streptomycin. So streptomycin is always contraindicated in pregnancy because it can cause the fetal malformations and it can also cause the dysfunction or paralysis of the 8th cranial nerve. While isoniazid, ethambutol or parazinamides are not usually contraindicated in pregnancy, but if they are indicated in pregnancy, then the close monitoring is required because still there is a risk of the hepatotoxicity. So with this, moving to our next question, the symptoms of stroke are, here are the options: confusion and difficulty in speech, severe headache and dizziness, option C is difficulty in swallowing and face drooping, and option D is all of the above. So here the correct option is option D, all of the above, as all these symptoms indicates the stroke. So correct option is option D. So our next question is, gestational diabetes occurs in, here are the options, adults, adolescents, elderly population, and option D is the pregnant woman. So it's a very easy question, and here the correct option is option D. So gestational diabetes is a diabetes during a pregnancy. So with this, moving to our next question, how does the cancer spread in human body? Options are through lymphatic system, through bloodstream, skin, or option D is both through the lymphatic system and bloodstream. So again, very easy question. The correct option is option D. So next question is, the common method of screening for cervical cancer in community is ultrasound, blood smear, visual inspection with acetic acid, or CT scan. So here the correct option is option C, visual inspection with acetic acid. So several screening methods used for the cervical cancer like pap smear, cervical cytology, HPV DNA testing, or visual inspection with acetic acid. So from these options, option C is the right one. So with this, moving to our next question, asthma can be prevented by, here are the options, prevent the exposure to allergens, taking the medicine regularly, using the quick relief inhalers, or none of the above. So here the right option is option A, that is the prevent the exposure to allergens. So we all know the asthma is triggered by allergic substances like pollens, dust, pets, spores, air pollution, or smoke. So in the question they ask about the preventive measure of asthma. So the preventive measure is prevent the exposure to the allergens. So here the right option is option A. So next question is, beta blockers and ACE inhibitors are prescribed for management of hypertension, diabetes, COPD, or asthma. So here the correct option is option A, hypertension. It's a very easy question. We all know the beta blockers and ACE inhibitors are the antihypertensive drugs. So with this, moving to our next question, the following are fat soluble vitamins except vitamin A, D, E, or C. So here the right option is option D, that is a vitamin C. So you have to find out which one is not a fat soluble vitamin. So A, D, E, and K are the fat soluble vitamin, and vitamin B and C are the water soluble vitamin. So the right option is option D. So next question is, which vitamin is needed for blood clotting? And here are the options A, B, E, or K. So the right option is option D, that is a vitamin K. We all know the vitamin K plays a very important role in a blood clotting. So with this, moving to our next question, oral rehydration therapy is recommended for the patient suffering with, options are the cholera, tetanus, tuberculosis, and D is a none of the above. So here the right option is option A, cholera. So cholera can lead to the severe dehydration, and to treat the dehydration we need the rehydration therapy. So ORS solutions are recommended for the patient with cholera. So our next question is, infections occurs in a patient while in hospital is known as opportunistic infection, nosocomial infection, iatrogenic infection, or none of the above. So here the right option is option B, that is a nosocomial infection. So this nosocomial infection occurs within the 48 hours of the hospital admission, and due to this is also known as the hospital acquired infections. While the opportunistic infections occurs in those who are having a very weak immune system. For example, the patient with HIV AIDS develops so many other infections. So that will be the case of the opportunistic infections. And the iatrogenic infections are directly related to the patient procedures, maybe treatment, or that may be the diagnostic procedures. For example, after the blood transfusion, the patient develops sepsis. So that will be the case of the iatrogenic infections. So here the patient acquired infection from hospital. So the correct option will be the nosocomial infection, option B. So next question is, ICTC stands for which of the following? And here are the options. So from these, the correct option will be option C, that will be the Integrated Counseling and Testing Center for HIV/AIDS. So next question is, the expected time of closure of the anterior fontanelle is, and here are the options: 4 to 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks, 9 to 12 weeks, or 16 to 18 months. So here the correct option is option D, that is a 16 to 18 months of age. So this anterior fontanelle is of diamond shape and closes by the 18 months. So our next question is, the ophthalmia neonatrum is caused by, options are Neisseria gonorrhea, cytomegalovirus, herpes simplex virus, or human papilloma virus. So here the right option is option A, that is the Neisseria gonorrhea, and this ophthalmia neonatrum is also known as the neonatal conjunctivitis, and this is the leading cause of blindness if left untreated. So right option is option A. So next question is, the birth weight of a baby doubles at age of 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, or 12 months. So here the right option is option B, that is the 6 months. So moving to a next question, what is the major cause of death under 5 years of age among the following diseases? And here are the options: pneumonia, chickenpox, hepatitis, or typhoid fever. So here the right option is option A, that is the pneumonia. So this pneumonia is a leading cause of mortality in the children under 5 years of age. So next question is, the full form of DOTS is, and here are the options. So read all the options carefully. So the right option is option A, that is directly observed treatment short course. So with this, moving to our next question, which among the following is the topmost cause of mortality among adolescents? And here are the options: suicide, communicable diseases, road traffic accidents, or iron deficiency anemia. So the correct option is option C, that is the road traffic accidents are the topmost cause of mortality among the adolescents. So next question is, a mother should be assessed for following within the 1 hour of delivery. And here are the options: excessive bleeding, temperature, uterine contraction, and option D is the all of the above. So here the correct option is option D, that is all of the above. So the mother should be checked for excessive bleeding, temperature, and also check the uterine contraction. So all this should be done to prevent the postpartum complications like sepsis or PPH. So the right option is option D. So with this, moving to the next question, the sign of increased ICP in a 10-month-old child is increased irritability, narrowing pulse pressure, pinpoint pupil, or tachycardia. So it's a very easy question. The correct option is option A, that is the increased irritability. So the signs of increased ICP in case of infants are irritability, poor feeding, high pitched cry, and bulging fontanelles. So out of these, only the irritability is present here. So the correct option is option A. So next question is, the most likely symptom of placenta previa is painless bleeding, intermittent pain with spotting, dull pain in lower abdominal region, or tender uterus. So here the correct option is option A, that is a painless bleeding. So the common symptoms of placenta previa are the painless bleeding and soft and non-tender uterus. So the correct option is option A. So with this, moving to the last question of our today's video. In adults, during the ear irrigation, to straighten the ear canal, pinna should be held upward, downward and backward, straight backward, upward and backward. So here the correct option is option D, that is the upward and backward. So in case of adults, the pinna is held upward and backward to straighten the ear canal, but in case of child who is under 3 years of age, the pinna is held downward and backward. So the correct option is option D. Okay friends, that's all about the today's questions. So very soon we'll see you in my next video. So stay tuned, stay safe. Thank you.